The brand new version of the Form goggles take all the incredible features of the original pair and add heart rate. Hey everyone, my name is Parker-kerth. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I am a 25-year-old triathlete and triathlon coach with NVDM coaching. Most of the time on this channel, I like to post training content, especially now as I'm getting ready to toe the line at Ironman, Texas, and then the Ironman World Championships at Kona at the end of October. Today, however, we're going to be switching it up a bit, and instead of the normal week of training, day in the life, I'm going to be posting, well, obviously, as you guys probably saw the thumbnail and read the title of this video, a review of the brand new, wait, really quickly, before I show you, if you do end up enjoying this video, found it helpful, and want to see more triathlon training content or reviews of triathlon gear, equipment, whatever it may be, I truly appreciate it, and it would help out this channel if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Great. Now, let me show you. Form goggles. Now, I'm sure if you're watching this, or at least, well, I'm not sure, but I would probably assume if you're watching this review of the brand new Form goggles, then you've probably heard of the original pair, which I have right here. But in case you haven't, I'll do a quick little rundown of what Form goggles are. You see, Form goggles, they are smart goggles. So what that means is they have a little augmented reality display. It's very hard to capture with a camera of what it looks like. However, I'll try to remember to insert some footage from the Form website as to what it looks like when you're swimming. It's super cool. You can customize the different data screens. It's pretty much like a watch, but when you're swimming. So you can see your stroke rate, your distance per stroke. You can see your splits every time you push off the wall. And one of my favorite parts about the Form goggles is that, well, two favorite parts about the Form goggles. One is that you don't have to hit your watch. So every time you push off the wall, you don't have to lap your watch. And that actually helps a lot with not messing up the altimeter with especially Garmin watches. I have a few friends and I know some other triathletes, and their altimeter or barometer always gets messed up on their Garmin watches. And that is usually because they're hitting the buttons underwater. And so water can get into the little buttons. See right here, if you hit it too often, then water can get into it. But with these Form goggles, you don't need to use your watch in the water. So that's one of my favorite parts about them. And two is it tracks your distance. So every time you push off the wall, you know exactly how many yards you swam in either that interval or the entire swim. You can customize it all on the app, and then it syncs seamlessly to your goggles. So that's kind of the quick rundown of Form goggles. And now usually people are in two camps. They love them or they hate them. Personally, obviously, since I have two of them right now and I'm posting a review of them, well, I'm a fan. I am a fan of them. However, don't worry, I will talk about some of the cons with the new Form goggles. But the reason why some people don't enjoy them is because they find that it can be too distracting. You know, some people when they swim, they don't want any technology. They don't want the watch, they don't want the metrics, they just want, the clock on the wall and the pool. That's all they want. And if you're falling to that camp, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video. The Form goggles, they aren't going to be for you. However, if you're kind of like me and you love all the metrics, or if you're like my friend and athlete Mike May and you love all the metrics, the pace, the heart rate, especially the heart rate, stay tuned, then you should definitely consider checking out Form goggles. That being said, and this kind of leads into the review, I guess we can kind of get started. I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons of the new Form goggles, and one of the cons is definitely the price. Now, as I am filming this review a few days before the official launch of the second version, the brand new version of the Form goggles, I'm not 100% sure of what it's going to cost. However, I have a hard time believing it's going to be cheaper than the first version, and these are $200 currently on the website. So yeah, these are probably the most expensive goggles that you can buy. I am currently editing this video, and I forgot to mention, if you do end up wanting to pick up a pair of form goggles, you can enter code ParkerNVDM at checkout, and I believe that should save you some money. I'll have a link to their website as well in the description box below. All right, back to the review. But then again, they're smart goggles. You got to charge them. You know, they come with a battery, so they're not going to be cheap. And you do get a lot of metrics. And I honestly do think, especially pacing longer intervals, that has been the biggest positive I can say from these smart goggles, is not going out too hard and really identifying what an effort feels like during the swim. And also, you know, if you're trying to change something in your technique, you know, you're trying to reach out a little bit farther, push water back more, then you kind of get like live feedback as to whether or not that is changing your pace, distance per stroke, stroke rate, whatever it may be. And so that is also very interesting and can be useful. And then the app as well is very beneficial. They keep updating and coming out with new features. They just recently released a coaching feature. So now you get a score after every swim. It's your form score, and that takes different metrics into account, like your head roll, your head pitch, and then it gives you a score combining all those metrics. And honestly, form has really been innovative. They keep coming out with new updates, and that's something I've really enjoyed, as I've been a beta tester with these goggles when they first came out. Well, I guess I should probably mention what makes these goggles so much better or newer than the first goggles, and that is the heart rate sensor right here. Now, previously, you were able to get heart rate from these goggles, but you needed to buy the Polar OH1 monitor and then pair it, and it's kind of a hassle. But with these, when you buy the goggles, you get heart rate right there. Now, back to what I was saying with being a beta tester. I've been testing these out for about the past 2 or 3 months, and as I'm currently training for Ironman Texas, I've been swimming 5 to 6 days a week, logging anywhere between 20 to 25,000 yards in the pool. So it is safe to say that I have been putting these goggles through their paces. And as I've been beta testing and testing them, one thing that has really impressed me with form is that how open they were to feedback and how often they're coming out with new updates. Pretty much every week, every other week, there would be a new update for all the beta testers to download and change the heart rate algorithm. And I definitely saw improvements when I first started to the final product, which will be released today. And so knowing that, I can confidently say that these goggles, they're only going to get better. And for trying to provide heart rate in the pool, which is very hard because you have water, you got your swim cap, they do a pretty good job. And they're the only ones doing it out there. Now, that being said, it's definitely not perfect. I have found that the heart rate on easy swims, when my heart rate's relatively low and maybe, because it's taking it from the temple, so maybe the pulse isn't as strong, the heart rate from easy swims is not there yet. I'll just leave it at that. I'll throw up some screenshots from my Garmin for what it looks like on after an easy swim. But yeah, to say it usually misses, I'd say around 70% of the data. It's just not capturing it. However, that being said, it still does give you a relatively good estimate of what the average heart rate was for the swim. And what's cool is that you can actually see it live when you're swimming. And so even though on Garmin it shows blanks where it's kind of guessing where the heart rate would be, in the form goggles it still shows you a number. It just starts flashing when the signal isn't as strong, or the measurement isn't as strong. That being said, the data that I've gotten on threshold swims, or when I'm really pushing it, and when honestly the heart rate actually does matter, that has been much better. I'm seeing pretty much 90 to 95% of the data is captured, and I've taken my pulse a few times in the water, compared it to what I'm seeing in the goggles and what I see in the app afterwards. and it's spot on. It's within 1 or 2 beats. And for doing that in the pool, it's more accurate than what I get from the wrist heart rate on the watch. So honestly, if you want heart rate in the pool, this is definitely the best option out there as of now, as of this recording. So honestly, what it comes down to is the type of person you are. As I mentioned at the very start of this review, when you swim, are you just one of those swimmers that, you don't even swim with a watch, you just use the clock? Then honestly, as I mentioned, these aren't going to be for you. But if you already have the first form goggles, then I assume that you're kind of a data nerd and you love all the data. And you probably want to see the heart rate in the pool. And even though these form goggles are not perfect, the improvement that I've seen since I first started testing these has been incredible. And so I can safely say that before long, whether it's with this version or the next version, or honestly in a software update, these goggles will be very, very beneficial, useful, and accurate within a couple of months here. And if you guys have been watching any of the triathlon videos from Christian, from Lionel, you guys have all probably seen these. It's pretty easy to differentiate between the two. The second version are the green, and the first version aren't. Actually, I forgot. I still have the heart rate monitor. So as you can see, it's a lot bigger in these goggles, and in the second goggles, it's right there. Battery life, that's something you guys are probably wondering about. I charge these once a week. These goggles pretty much once a week, and they're still not dead. They're about 20 to 30%, and I swim, as I mentioned, quite a bit, not a heck of a lot, but 25,000 yards a week, around 6 hours a week, and yeah, they're not dead at the end of the week. So you really don't have to worry about them dying on you. Just plug them in. I usually charge everything on like a Monday when I'm not training or it's my rest day. So there we go. That is kind of my review of the form goggles. If you are looking to pick some up, I do believe I have a discount code, ParkerNVDM or NVDM Parker, whatever it is. I'll make sure to have it listed right here. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of it. Are you guys planning on trying out the new form goggles? And I think that is going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little review, and we'll catch ya in the next one.